A team of scientists is on a mission to figure out why strange time glitches are popping up all over the UK. These glitches let creatures from the past and future come into our time. Their job is to stop these glitches and prevent the world from ending. Late at night, in an empty parking lot next to a forest, something big and lizard-like comes out of the trees. A woman runs away and hides in a big trash bin in the parking lot. She hears the creature outside banging on the bin. Meanwhile, a cleaner is vacuuming the aisles in a nearby store wearing headphones. Outside, the creature moves toward the store. The woman runs up to the store window and asks the cleaner to let her in, but the cleaner ignores her and keeps cleaning. The woman runs back into the parking lot and the creature starts throwing shopping carts at her. She hides among the cars, but the creature starts throwing cars around. The woman runs into the forest and the creature roars after her. 8 years later, Professor Nick Cutter and his assistant Stephen Hart went to Central Metropolitan University. They meet a student named Connor Temple who tells them he's one of Cutter's students. Cutter doesn't recognize him because he never showed up for class. In Cutter's office, Connor shows him his dissertation, which suggests that aliens brought life to Earth. Cutter isn't interested and throws it away. Connor shows him a newspaper article about a giant beast sighting, but Cutter doesn't believe it. Connor mentions the sighting was in the Forest of Dean, which gets Cutter's attention. They decide to investigate. At Wellington Zoo, Abby Maitland is trying to get 2 lizards to mate. Her boss tells her the reptile program is getting cut, which upsets her. Abby sees a paper about a boy finding a lizard and offers to check it out. They also talk about a project studying parasites in elephant dung. Cutter, Connor, and Stephen drive to the Forest of Dean to investigate a reported creature sighting. They talk to a security guard named Dave Green who saw the creature on a monitor. Connor is amazed by the damage to a truck caused by the creature. Stephen finds blood on the truck, suggesting it's a predator. Cutter is intrigued by a crushed metal fence nearby. Stephen explains that Cutter's wife, Helen, disappeared in this area 8 years ago while investigating a similar sighting. Meanwhile, Abby visits Ben Trent's house. Ben shows her his lizard Rex, which he found in the forest. Abby realizes Rex is not a Dracovolan as Ben believes. She decides to visit the spot where Ben found Rex. As they get closer, they find a dead cow in a tree and hear roaring in the distance. Ben panics and runs ahead, leaving Abby behind. At the Eddington Hotel, Cutter meets Claudia Brown, who is also interested in the creature sighting. Claudia asks Cutter to confirm it's a hoax. They discuss the creature, with Cutter suggesting it might be a panther. They agree to investigate together. Outside, Connor shows Stephen his database on extinct animals. When Cutter and Claudia arrive, they all head off to investigate. Abby, still in the forest, searches for Ben as he continues running. She loses Rex but sees him fly with his wings. Meanwhile, Ben finds a strange phenomenon with glowing shapes and chirping sounds similar to Rex's. He investigates and sees a desert landscape with flying lizards. As he hears roaring nearby, he runs off, calling for Abby. Back with Abby, they encounter a large dinosaur-like creature, leaving Abby shocked. Stephen, Connor, Cutter, and Claudia venture through the Forest of Dean, debating whether they'll find anything. Cutter praises Stephen's tracking skills. Stephen discovers the dead cow Ben and Abby found earlier, piquing Cutter's interest. Connor's compass goes haywire, alarming the group. As dusk falls, Ben races through the forest, reaching his street and cutting his finger on a fence. He rushes home, but a large creature follows his blood trail. Inside, the creature tries to attack Ben, but he fights back with toys and distracts them with music. Ben eventually scares it off and hides. When his mother arrives, she blames him for the mess. Meanwhile, Abby encounters a giant tortoise-like creature in the forest. Cutter and the others arrive and observe it. Cutter suggests it might be a hybrid or mutant. Claudia intervenes, confiscating Connor's phone. Rex, Abby's lizard, emerges and Cutter examines him. Claudia calls for help with the creature. Later, at Ben's house, Cutter investigates the damage while Mary blames Ben. Ben tries to tell them about the predator, but no one believes him. He storms off. Claudia advises Abby and Cutter to keep quiet and sign confidentiality agreements. Cutter suspects another creature is responsible for the cow's death. They discuss Ben's claims of a prehistoric landscape. Cutter believes the answers lie in the forest. In the forest, Connor and Stephen guard the tortoise-like creature. They're amazed by it. The creature panics and flees when the rest of the team approaches. They chase it to a glowing phenomenon where it disappears, leaving Cutter to realize it returned home through the phenomenon. The next morning, home office teams and soldiers secure the phenomenon's location as Connor investigates. A magnetic force pulls Connor's pen into the phenomenon, revealing its extraterrestrial origin. Stephen comforts Abby, both feeling scared and exhilarated. Abby worries about Rex, but Stephen reassures her. Cutter and Claudia discuss the creatures they've seen, realizing they're from prehistoric times. Later, at the Home Office, Cutter and Abby sign the Official Secrets Act. Another official, James Lester, arrives, skeptical of civilians' involvement. In the forest, Stephen and Connor track the predator. Connor suffers from allergies while Stephen focuses on finding signs of the creature. At the Home Office, Cutter and Lester discuss the anomaly, which Cutter believes is a portal to the past. Lester is skeptical but concerned about the potential havoc from prehistoric creatures. Cutter expresses his intent to find Helen even without authorization. In the forest, Connor and Stephen discuss Abby as they track the predator. Connor admits his feelings for Abby, encouraged by Stephen. In the lab, scientists examine Rex, who escapes and flies around the building. Abby and Claudia chase after him, impressing the team with Abby's animal handling skills. In the forest, Stephen finds a large footprint of the predator, worrying Connor. Back at the Home Office, Lester agrees to launch a mission through the anomaly led by Cutter. Cutter plans to return Rex to his habitat and signs a disclaimer. In the forest, Connor researches while Stephen examines a footprint, identifying it as belonging to a gorgonopsid. Stephen sets off alone to find the creature. Meanwhile, at a school, Ben spots the gorgonopsid outside but struggles to convince his teacher. The creature breaks in, prompting a frantic escape. Stephen confronts the gorgonopsid in the school, leading it on a chase through the building. Outside, Stephen uses a fire extinguisher to fend off the creature but is knocked out in the process. Back at the anomaly site, Connor tries to reach Stephen while Cutter prepares for a mission through the anomaly. Claudia introduces Cutter to Captain Tom Ryan, who will accompany him. Abby entrusts Rex to Cutter's care. As they enter the anomaly, Cutter gazes at the prehistoric landscape. In the present, Connor notices the anomaly weakening. On the other side, Cutter explores with Ryan, discovering evidence of past human visitors. They find a camera case with Helen's initials. Ryan insists they return, but Cutter refuses, leading to a confrontation. Ryan knocks out Cutter to ensure their return. As they hurry back, the anomaly flickers. Cutter and Ryan emerge in the present, surprising everyone. Rex remains behind as the anomaly closes. The gorgonopsid attacks, causing chaos. Cutter rescues Claudia, but they are cornered by the creature until Stephen arrives, distracting it with a car. Stephen fatally injures the gorgonopsid. At the Home Office, Lester shows Cutter photos of Helen in the past. Cutter remains determined, believing the anomaly crisis is far from over. Later, Cutter encounters a living ammonite in his office and briefly sees Helen outside. He is left pondering the implications of her appearance. In the London Underground, a routine train journey is disrupted by signaling issues, leading to a delay. Passengers, feeling the heat, seek relief by opening windows. One woman, engrossed in her book, unknowingly invites trouble as a spider-like arachnid creeps in, triggering panic and screams. At Central Metropolitan University, Connor shares his anomaly research with friends Tom and Duncan. Despite Connor's earnestness, they doubt his claims, dismissing them as fanciful tales. Connor leaves, determined to vindicate himself someday. In Nick Cutter's office, he and Stephen scour Helen Cutter's work for any mention of anomalies. Cutter, reminiscing about Helen, keeps his emotions in check, concealing his recent encounter with her. In a university cafe, Connor discovers intriguing information online, sparking excitement and determination in his quest for truth. At Abby Maitland's flat, Abby dances carefree while Rex watches. Connor's sudden visit disrupts the tranquility as he excitedly shares news of a potential anomaly. Abby, hesitant but intrigued, considers joining Connor's investigation while keeping Rex hidden to protect him. As Connor persuades Abby to embark on the adventure, tensions rise between following protocol and seizing an opportunity to prove themselves to Cutter. Their conversation is interrupted by Rex's chirps, reminding them of the stakes involved. In the dim confines of Arsenal Station's underground tunnel, a lone pest controller diligently sprays for vermin. Unbeknownst to him, ominous sounds echo from the shadows behind. Ignoring the noise, he continues his task, oblivious to the lurking danger. Meanwhile, in the Home Office, Lester and Claudia discuss the aftermath of the Forest of Dean anomaly incursion. Claudia updates Lester on the cleanup efforts and the public's disbelief in eyewitness accounts. Concerned about potential media attention, they strategize to keep witnesses away from the spotlight. In the new forest, Connor and Abby press on with their investigation. Abby remains uneasy about their impromptu decision not to involve others. Connor, attempting to reassure her, struggles with his attempts at comfort. In the underground, the pest controller takes a break, his lunch interrupted by a dropped apple. Unseen by him, a giant spider observes from the shadows, its intentions hidden. Back at the university, Cutter delves into Helen's research, haunted by past regrets. Claudia arrives, urging Cutter to confront his feelings of guilt. She offers solace, reassuring him that Helen's fate wasn't his fault. Meanwhile, in the new forest, tensions simmer between Abby and Connor. As they set up camp, personal questions deepen their divide, leaving Abby to retreat into the tent, leaving Connor alone on watch duty. Back at the university, Cutter and Claudia debate the revelation of the anomaly's existence. Cutter advocates for transparency, but Claudia fears the consequences of public knowledge. Their discussion is interrupted by Stephen, bearing worrisome news of Abby and Connor's whereabouts. In the eerie silence of the new forest, Connor rests against a tree, lulled by music until sleep claims him, his phone ringing unheard in his hand. Unbeknownst to them, a lurking creature prowls nearby, growling ominously. Abby emerges from the tent, spotting the menace and rousing Connor just as the creature launches its attack. Cornered in their camp, they brace for the onslaught until, to their astonishment, the creature malfunctions and collapses, revealed as a prank by their friends Tom and Duncan. As laughter fades, the arrival of the police brings a sobering end to the jest, leaving Connor and Abby chastened by the repercussions of their escapade. In the depths of the underground tunnels, the pest controller's routine inspection takes a sinister turn as he discovers a torn hole in the tunnel wall. Peering inside, he is ambushed by a giant spider lurking above, its attack leaving him unconscious and in critical condition. At the hospital, Cutter and Claudia confront the grim reality of the situation as Dr. Lewis explains the mysterious circumstances surrounding the pest controller's injuries. Despite their efforts to understand, the nature of the assailant remains elusive, its venomous by posing a lethal threat. Back in the new forest, tension mounts as Cutter confronts Connor and Abby over their reckless behavior. With Connor ousted from the anomaly research team and Abby left grappling with the consequences of their actions, Cutter's reprimand underscores the gravity of their misstep. As they grapple with the fallout, the hospital scene unfolds in parallel, mirroring the ominous shadow cast by the unseen threat lurking in the underground tunnels. Later, at the home office, Lester is embroiled in a heated debate with Cutter and Claudia over the latest creature incursion. Cutter advocates for shutting down the entire London underground system to prevent further casualties, but Lester balks at the notion of plunging the city into chaos based on uncertain evidence. Claudia intervenes, persuading Lester to sanction the closure of the specific area where the pest controller was attacked, a mostly disused section of the underground. Reluctantly, Lester concedes to this compromise, albeit begrudgingly. Outside the Arsenal station entrance, a convoy of black cars arrives, disgorging Claudia and a contingent of Special Forces soldiers led by Captain Ryan. Armed to the teeth, they descend into the station, joined by Cutter, Stephen, and Abby, who arrive by car. Inside the station, Ryan and his troops gear up with rifles and night vision goggles, preparing to confront the unknown threat lurking in the underground. Despite Cutter's insistence on accompanying them, Claudia asserts the protocol for Special Forces to lead the charge. In the depths of the tunnel, Captain Ryan's team advances cautiously, discovering an access door leading to an abandoned underground shelter. As they explore, a giant spider ambushes them, triggering chaos as more of the creatures descend from the ceiling. The soldiers find themselves overwhelmed, the spiders vanishing as suddenly as they appear. Ryan orders a hasty retreat and the soldiers hastily evacuate the shelter. Outside Arsenal Station, a Special Forces medic tends to the injured soldier while Cutter, Stephen, and Claudia debrief with Captain Ryan. Ryan recounts the harrowing encounter, describing the spider creatures and the peculiar phenomena they witnessed. Cutter deduces the existence of another anomaly in the underground, likely leading to the Carboniferous period. Determined to investigate further, Cutter secures Claudia's approval for their team to venture into the underground. Meanwhile, at the university, Connor grapples with his exclusion from the anomaly operation, reflecting somberly on his actions. Back at Arsenal Station, as Cutter, Abby, and Stephen prepare to venture underground, Captain Ryan offers them weapons, but Cutter opts for powerful torches instead. Claudia arrives with news of the pest controller's demise and the ongoing tests on the injured soldier. Reluctantly, she allows Abby to accompany the team due to her expertise with animals. Descending into the station, Cutter's team advances cautiously, armed with torches. In the dimly lit corridor, they encounter a giant spider, confirming its sensitivity to light. Pressing on, they reach the shelter where countless spiders skitter away from their torch beams. Abby spots a breach in a chain-link wall, leading them to a startling discovery, the anomaly. As they investigate, a massive centipede bursts through the wall, trapping Cutter against the onslaught. Abby and Stephen flee while Cutter confronts the monstrous creature, their perilous situation escalating as the centipede closes in. Claudia and the team are taken aback by Cutter's risky plan, but he remains resolute in his decision to obtain the venom from the Arthropleura. Connor is tasked with preparing something for Cutter's plan, though he expresses hesitation about the dangerous endeavor. Meanwhile, in the underground shelter, Captain Ryan and his men continue their search, driving the spiders back through the anomaly with their bright torches. The relentless effort seems to be working as the spiders retreat en masse. Back on the surface, the team discusses the urgency of saving Steven. Abby asserts that traditional methods of obtaining antivenom will take too long, and Cutter agrees that they need a pure sample of the arthropleura venom. Claudia, with her characteristic sarcasm, questions the feasibility of acquiring such a sample. Cutter reveals his audacious plan to extract the venom directly from the creature itself. Though met with skepticism, Cutter is unwavering in his resolve. He communicates his instructions to Captain Ryan, emphasizing the importance of preventing the arthropleura from escaping back through the anomaly. As the team braces for the risky operation, tension mounts, knowing that Steven's life hangs in the balance. With time running out, they prepare to execute Cutter's daring plan, their determination matched only by the gravity of the situation. Cutter, Abby, and Claudia venture into the underground bunker, meeting with Captain Ryan and his soldiers. Despite their efforts, they find no trace of the arthropleura. A sense of defeat looms over Cutter as he blames himself for Steven's predicament. Connor arrives with a newfound realization: arthropleura were burrowers, which means the creature might still be present and hidden. They search the bunker, and Connor's discovery of a hole behind crates reignites hope. Cutter decides to enter the creature's tunnel to obtain the venom, with Connor volunteering to accompany him. Before entering the tunnel, Cutter instructs Connor and Ryan to apply turpentine to repel the arthropleura. With trepidation, the trio crawls through the cramped burrow. Emerging in an electrics area, they realize the arthropleura may be lurking above. They ascend and confront the creature in the electrics room. In a daring move, Cutter goads the arthropleura into biting him, ensuring they obtain the venom. A frantic struggle ensues, culminating in the creature's demise by electrocution. As they depart to deliver the venom to Steven, it's revealed Cutter wore a protective armband, escaping poisoning. At the hospital, Abby sits by Steven's bedside, relieved to see signs of recovery. Connor visits, sharing a lighthearted moment with Abby and Steven. Later, Claudia questions Steven about his encounter with Helen, but he dismisses it as a hallucination. Abby enters, probing Steven about his memory loss, but he remains oblivious to their previous conversation. Despite the uncertainty, Steven expresses gratitude to Abby for her care. Alone in the underground, Cutter reflects on the day's events as he stares at the anomaly. Connor interrupts his thoughts, seeking validation for his actions during the arthropleura incursion. Despite initial cynicism, Cutter acknowledges Connor's contributions, which elicits joy from the younger man. In a moment of vulnerability, Connor reveals his desire to be part of a crime-busting team, finding fulfillment in his involvement with the anomaly operation. However, Cutter's refusal to grant him a cool nickname doesn't dampen Connor's spirits as he leaves content. Left alone once more, Cutter approaches the anomaly, contemplating the mysteries it holds. With a mixture of curiosity and concern, he wonders about Helen's whereabouts and intentions, his hand reaching out to touch the shimmering anomaly as he ponders the enigmatic woman who continues to evade him. At the Crystal Palace swimming pool, the tranquil atmosphere is shattered by a horrifying incident. Anthony Barton, a lifeguard, joins his girlfriend, Diane Johnson, for a swim. As Diane heads to the changing rooms, Anthony remains in the pool, relaxing until he hears a splash nearby. Moments later, a giant marine reptile surfaces, snatching Anthony in its jaws as he dives off the board. Diane, returning to the pool area, finds Anthony missing and witnesses the terrifying spectacle of the reptile smashing against the viewing port. Meanwhile, at the home office, Nick Cutter, Claudia Brown, James Lester, and officials convene to monitor Connor Temple's live report from the London Underground anomaly site. The anomaly's magnetic field remains stable, indicating no imminent closure. Cutter theorizes that anomalies may fade rather than disappear entirely, suggesting past incursions of mythical monsters. Lester, however, dismisses this notion until news of a potential new anomaly incursion interrupts the meeting. In the hospital, Connor and Steven discuss Steven's amnesia following his near-death experience. Steven prepares to leave, revealing his girlfriend, Allison, will pick him up, surprising Connor and Abby. As Steven notices Abby's distress, he departs, leaving an awkward moment between Connor and Abby, who later hits him with a pillow in frustration. Back at the swimming pool, the police treat the scene as a crime, suspecting Diane of foul play. Cutter intervenes, revealing the truth about the prehistoric predator responsible. Concerned for Diane's well-being, Cutter and Claudia vow to address the misunderstanding. Abby, Connor, and Steven contemplate the recent creature incursion while Steven prepares to dive into the pool. Connor expresses surprise at the creature's ability to navigate the highly chlorinated water, suggesting it quickly fled back through the anomaly after the attack. As Abby silently leaves, Connor and Steven discuss Allison's return and Steven's relationship status, leading to a playful splash from Steven that drenches Connor. Meanwhile, at the home office, Claudia confronts Lester about Diane Johnson's arrest and Anthony Barton's death. Lester refuses to intervene, fearing Diane's potential revelation of the creature's incursion. He justifies his decision as necessary for maintaining order until the anomaly crisis is resolved, frustrating Claudia. At a reservoir, kayakers encounter a horrifying sight, a mass of digested bone and flesh surfacing, indicating the creature's presence beneath the waters. Back at the home office, Cutter, Lester, and Claudia discuss Anthony Barton's remains found in the reservoir, pondering the creature responsible. Cutter proposes a theory about anomalies' fixed locations in the past and mobile presence in the present, raising concerns about anomalies' unpredictability. Later, Cutter and the team investigate the reservoir, discovering evidence of water draining through the anomaly. Realizing the anomaly remains open in the reservoir's depths, they brace for the continued threat of the giant marine reptile lurking below. At the reservoir bank, Cutter reflects silently until Claudia approaches with coffee, sensing his preoccupation with Helen. Claudia's astute observation prompts Cutter to acknowledge his persistent thoughts of Helen, though he refrains from disclosing more. As steam rises from a section of the reservoir, Cutter theorizes about the anomaly's influence on water temperature, proposing a strategy to track it. The team prepares for another diving mission as Cutter and Steven join the special forces. Claudia expresses reluctance at Cutter's involvement, citing potential paperwork if he were to die. Cutter and Steven head out onto the reservoir with the divers. Meanwhile, Connor and Abby collect water samples, with Connor lamenting their lack of excitement compared to Steven's tasks. Abby teases Connor about Steven's appearance, prompting Connor to defend his capabilities. In the reservoir, the divers search while the creature lurks nearby. In a shallower area, Connor and Abby are startled by fleeing geese, realizing the creature's presence. They cautiously assess the situation as the creature circles Abby in the water. In the depths, a diver inadvertently passes through the anomaly, prompting Cutter and Steven's return to the surface. As the creature stalks Abby, she advises Connor to remain still while they assess their next move. As Cutter and Steven observe the closing anomaly, Connor and Abby face a harrowing encounter with a mosasaur in the reservoir. Cornered against a metal fence, they fend off the creature, causing it to retreat injured. As the injured mosasaur swims back through the anomaly, Cutter witnesses its departure just before the anomaly collapses and closes. Back on shore, Cutter and Connor discuss the incident while Abby receives medical attention. Cutter explains to Claudia the fate of the diver who crossed through the anomaly and the implications of the closed anomaly. Abby gratefully thanks Connor for saving her, leading to an awkward moment between them. Later, at the home office, Cutter presents his theory on the anomaly movement to Lester, Steven, and Claudia. Lester remains skeptical, but Claudia recognizes the potential danger, especially for the maroon diver. Cutter urges precautions along the temporal fault line, but Lester hesitates due to potential media chaos. Meanwhile, in a suburban home, Jane Dexter faces mysterious flooding in her cellar, unaware of the lurking danger. At the university, Connor's secretive behavior puzzles his friends, sparking speculation about his sudden fascination with dinosaurs. As Duncan and Tom ponder Connor's changes, they resolve to keep a closer eye on him, perplexed by his recent behavior shift and newfound interests. The tense atmosphere at the home office escalates as Steven confronts Cutter about his knowledge of Helen's survival. Cutter's secrecy about Helen's existence incites frustration and anger, especially when Claudia discovers the truth. Steven reluctantly agrees to keep Helen's survival a secret but expresses his desire to pursue her. Meanwhile, at the Dexter home, the plumber's encounter with a Hesperornis confirms the existence of another anomaly incursion. The discovery of the Special Forces diver's body deepens the mystery, leading Claudia to confront Cutter about his deception regarding Helen. Claudia's anger towards Cutter intensifies as she realizes the extent of his betrayal. Outside, tensions between Steven and Abby persist as they struggle to reconcile their feelings amidst the turmoil. Lester's arrival at the Dexter house signifies a significant development in the team's mission as he unveils Helen's presence on the other side of the anomaly. In a pivotal moment, Lester tasks Cutter with crossing through the anomaly to locate Helen, leveraging his position within the team. Despite initial reluctance, Cutter agrees, setting the stage for a risky mission fraught with personal and professional stakes. As the team prepares for this daring endeavor, trust is tested and loyalties are questioned in the pursuit of answers and resolution. As Cutter traverses the anomaly into the prehistoric ocean, he encounters Helen, sparking a tense confrontation. Helen reveals her motives for reaching out to Cutter after 8 years, seeking his companionship for her journey through the anomalies. However, Cutter is reluctant to abandon his present life and colleagues for Helen's perilous quest through time. Meanwhile, back in the present, Steven, Abby, and Connor uncover a dire threat: the possibility of dangerous creatures escaping into the modern world through the sewer system. Claudia's secretive actions add to the mounting tension, leaving the team isolated and vulnerable. In the Cretaceous period, Cutter rejects Helen's offer and attempts to persuade her to return to the present. Their heated exchange culminates in Cutter's departure, leaving Helen alone and embittered on the shore. As Cutter swims back towards the anomaly, he faces a perilous encounter with a giant mosasaur struggling to defend himself against the ferocious predator. With time running out, Steven and Ryan anxiously await Cutter's return, unaware of the danger he faces on the other side of the anomaly. In the Cretaceous waters, Cutter gets rid of his oxygen tank and tries to swim back through the anomaly. But just as a mosasaur is about to attack him, a bigger one shows up and saves Cutter by fighting off the smaller one. Back in the present, Abby gets worried about Cutter running out of air. She tells Steven and they pull Cutter back through the anomaly. But when they get him out of the water, they realize he's drowning because he lost his air tank on the other side. Claudia tries CPR, but it doesn't work until she gives him air through a kiss. They take Cutter to an ambulance and Claudia asks if Helen is really on the other side. Cutter confirms it. Then Claudia tells the soldiers to go through the anomaly to bring Helen back. Steven asks what's happening, but Claudia says she can't do anything about it. Later, Connor and Abby are outside with Cutter, who wants to talk to Claudia. As he tries to leave, soldiers stop him at gunpoint. Then, Lester, Ryan, Steven, and more soldiers come out with Helen. They broke their promise to Cutter and brought her back forcefully. Cutter is shocked and angry as they take Helen away, leaving him feeling betrayed in the ambulance. At a block of flats, kids playing football accidentally disturb Mrs. Davis, who tries to quiet them down to no avail. Meanwhile, in her flat, something strange happens in the bathroom while her son is having a bath. A serpentine head emerges from the toilet. At the home office, Helen is interrogated by Lester and Claudia about the anomalies. They receive news of an incident in central London. Rushing to the scene, special forces led by Tom Ryan head into the flat block, passing by the kids playing football. Cutter, Connor, and Steven also arrive and join the investigation. Inside Mrs. Davis's flat, they discover it's just a python causing the disturbance, much to everyone's relief. However, back at the home office, Claudia informs Lester and Helen that it was a false alarm caused by an escaped pet python. Lester questions Helen about her knowledge of anomalies, but she remains elusive. Lester threatens her, but Helen stays calm. Claudia urges Helen to share her knowledge for the greater good. Eventually, Helen agrees to cooperate if they bring Cutter to her. Back at the flat block, Cutter receives a call from Claudia, who apologizes for missing his previous calls and stresses the importance of their cooperation. Claudia hints at their mutual dependence and urges Cutter to come to the home office immediately. Meanwhile, in the Davis flat's bathroom, Steven and Abby handle the python, with Connor offering assistance. Steven expresses some fear of the python, which he quickly tries to cover up. Abby takes charge of the python while Steven gets a sack to contain it. Abby leaves for a break, leaving Steven in charge. In the home office, Cutter confronts Helen, who accuses him of betraying her. Helen cryptically warns Cutter about impending danger in central London, leaving him shocked. Later, Tom and Duncan give Connor a ride to Abby's flat, unaware of Connor's ulterior motives. They secretly plan to uncover Connor's secret life using a disguised device gifted to him. In Abby's flat, Connor unexpectedly shows up asking to sleep on her sofa, but Abby doesn't recall him asking. Connor then makes an inappropriate request for Abby to kiss him, offering money as an incentive. Abby firmly refuses, but Connor threatens to reveal her secret pet Rex to the home office if she doesn't comply. Feeling pressured, Abby reluctantly kisses Connor, unaware that Tom and Duncan are witnessing the scene from their camper van. Tom and Duncan are impressed by Connor's luck and observe as he enters Abby's flat. Meanwhile, in the observation room at the home office, Nick informs Lester and Claudia about Helen's warning regarding an impending attack by saber-toothed cats in central London. Despite their skepticism, Nick believes Helen may not be entirely evil and suggests investigating her claims. Claudia and Lester contemplate the potential consequences of ignoring Helen's warning while Helen silently watches from the interrogation room. The team, along with the special forces, arrives at a football stadium where Helen leads them to the kitchens, suspecting the anomaly to be inside a sealed fridge. Claudia and Connor are skeptical, but Helen insists. Claudia calls Connor over to verify with his compass, but the thick steel doors of the fridge block any magnetic interference. Helen suggests that the magnetic field might not penetrate the steel doors, which Nick confirms is possible. Claudia, growing impatient, orders Steven to open the fridge, but Helen suddenly stops her, claiming there might be a Smilodon inside. Claudia, unconvinced, proceeds, but the fridge is padlocked. Helen offers Steven her knife, and he removes the padlock. As they open the fridge, metal utensils are attracted to the magnetic field and fly toward it, narrowly missing the team and the special forces. Steven saves Connor from being hit, and they watch as the utensils are sucked into the anomaly. Helen taunts Claudia about her skepticism, joking about her poker skills. Meanwhile, Tom and Duncan spy from their camper van, convinced of a government conspiracy. They watch as Special Forces guards enter the stadium, speculating about the possibility of a secret government bunker beneath the stadium, believing it to be an ingenious cover. In the stadium kitchens, Connor discovers a stack of pies in the fridge where the anomaly is located, alarming Helen, who warns that the meat in the pies will attract the Smilodon through the anomaly. As the team removes the pies, Helen seizes the opportunity and runs through the anomaly. Nick attempts to follow, but a soldier stops him, while Claudia orders Ryan to pursue Helen. Steven dashes through the anomaly before the Special Forces can intervene, finding himself on a grassy hillside surrounded by numerous anomalies. Back in the stadium, the team marvels at images of the anomaly-filled area on the other side. Steven confirms there are no saber-toothed cats in the vicinity, realizing Helen's warning was a bluff. Claudia accuses Cutter of intending to follow Helen, but he denies it, insisting he wants answers. Suddenly, a dodo emerges from the anomaly, followed by more. The team scrambles to capture them before they escape the stadium. Claudia attempts to corral a dodo while Connor, Steven, Abby, and others chase another. One dodo gets stuck in a cupboard while another swallows Connor's bag, containing a Roswell tracker. Outside, Tom and Duncan spot the dodo with the tracker, mistaking it for Connor. They rush to capture it, believing Connor has transformed into a bird. In the stadium nurse's office, Cutter and the team observe the dodos with fascination and sentimentality. Meanwhile, Tom and Duncan, at their flat, marvel at the captured dodo and plan to expose a government conspiracy involving cloning extinct creatures. Back in the stadium, the team herds the dodos back through the anomaly, but one dies unexpectedly. In the autopsy lab, a worm-like creature emerges from the dead dodo, startling the team. They trap the creature and observe its demise. At Tom and Duncan's flat, the dodo's behavior becomes erratic, leading to suspicion about its origins. Tom theorizes it may have been genetically modified as a biological weapon. They plan to expose the government conspiracy but face challenges with the unpredictable dodo. Back at the home office, Cutter identifies the parasite responsible for the dodo's death, explaining its gruesome life cycle to Lester and the team. As Tom's life ebbs away, Connor cradles his friend in his arms, overwhelmed with grief and guilt. Tom's last moments are marked by a poignant exchange between him and Connor, where Tom, despite his suffering, finds solace in knowing that he fought against the parasite's control until the end. Connor, devastated by Tom's passing, is comforted by Cutter, who emphasizes the significance of their mission and the legacy Tom leaves behind. Despite the weight of loss, Cutter encourages Connor to persevere, assuring him that Tom would be proud of his commitment to the Anomaly Project. As the team grapples with the tragedy, Abby, Duncan, and the others come together, offering support and solidarity in their shared grief. In the wake of Tom's death, they find strength in their bond and determination to carry on the fight against the anomalies. With heavy hearts, they honor Tom's memory, vowing to continue their work with renewed resolve and determination. As they stand united in the face of adversity, they draw strength from each other, knowing that Tom's legacy will live on in their ongoing struggle to uncover the truth behind the anomalies. To his ball, ready to make a swing. Unfortunately, his first attempt fails miserably, setting the tone for a string of unsuccessful swings. Meanwhile, his friend Jeff struggles in a bunker, seeking Andy's assistance. Andy's frustration mounts as he repeatedly misses his ball until he finally connects, only to send it into a nearby pond. When Jeff calls, Andy lies about his progress. Desperate to retrieve his ball, Andy fishes it out of the pond, unaware of the animal skeleton lurking below. Disgusted, he discards the wet ball farther away. In another scene, Connor mistakenly prepares breakfast for himself instead of Abby, leading to a misunderstanding. Abby notices the thermostat set too high and confronts Connor, who awkwardly tries to deflect her suspicions. As they bicker, Connor accidentally spills hot coffee on himself. Back on the golf course, Andy and Jeff's friendship is tested when Andy selfishly speeds away in the golf cart, leaving Jeff behind. Later, while searching for his ball in the forest, Andy injures his hand on something sharp. Horrified by what he sees, he meets a gruesome end, leaving Jeff traumatized. At Abby's flat, Connor's gaming session is interrupted by Cutter's call about a new anomaly. While trying to impress Abby, Connor inadvertently reveals Rex's presence in the car. As Cutter investigates a horrific scene at the golf course, Claudia and the team face a terrifying aerial threat, a pterodactyl. Connor's obliviousness leads to a life-threatening chase with Rex, forcing Cutter to make a controversial decision to spare the creature. Tensions rise as Abby's secret about Rex is exposed, straining her relationship with the team. Despite conflicting opinions, Cutter insists on confirming the pterodactyl's identity before taking action, causing friction within the group. Connor's unawareness of the situation adds to the chaos, leaving Abby to navigate the fallout. As the team grapples with the consequences of their actions, Cutter's resolve is tested and Abby pleads for Rex's safety. In a moment of clarity, Cutter grants Abby permission to find Rex, offering a glimmer of hope amid the chaos. In the swirling tempest of the skies, the Pteranodon soared, its silhouette a stark contrast against the stormy backdrop. Meanwhile, at the golf course, Cutter and his team strategized in front of the hotel, piecing together clues about the Pteranodon's behavior. Steven's alertness prompted Ryan to deploy satellite imagery revealing the creature perched atop a nearby high-rise. With determination, Cutter and his companions set out to capture the Pteranodon alive. Despite Claudia's insistence on lethal measures, Cutter remained steadfast in his resolve to handle the situation with care. As they ascended the office block, tension mounted, but Cutter's faith in their approach never wavered. Upon reaching the rooftop, their plan was put into action. Yet, despite their efforts, the Pteranodon eluded their grasp, soaring into the distance. Undeterred, Cutter improvised, using Claudia's red shirt to lure the creature back. As they prepared for another attempt, tensions rose, but so did their determination. Down below, in the woods, Connor and Abby searched for Rex, their bond tested by the ordeal. As Abby's frustration mounted, Connor's remorse was palpable, but their shared goal kept them moving forward. Back at the rooftop, the battle with the Pteranodon reached its climax. With Claudia's safety hanging in the balance, Cutter's quick thinking saved the day. However, Claudia's trust in him wavered as the true predator's presence loomed. Meanwhile, amidst the tranquil beauty of the golf course, a sinister threat emerged. Anurognathus descended, sending Connor and Abby into a frantic chase. As danger loomed, the special forces guarded the unconscious Pteranodon, unaware of the impending chaos. Inside the hotel, chaos erupted as the Anurognathus swarmed. Cutter and Claudia fought for survival, their bond tested by the looming threat. With Helen's sudden appearance, hope flickered amidst the chaos, but danger lurked around every corner. As the hotel became a battleground, Cutter's bravery shone through. Armed with little more than determination, he faced the Anurognathus head-on, his resolve unyielding. But even as victory seemed within reach, the true test lay ahead. In the aftermath of the chaos, amidst the burning ruins, Cutter and Claudia found solace in each other's safety. With the threat vanquished, they faced a new challenge, rebuilding what was lost. As the team gathered at the anomaly, victory and relief washed over them. With the Pteranodon safely returned to its time, they looked to the future with hope. And as Cutter bid farewell to the majestic creature, a sense of peace settled over the land once more. Nick Cutter, engrossed in a makeshift golf game in his office, achieves a hole-in-one to the surprise of Claudia, who enters unnoticed. Their ensuing conversation delves into the complexities of Helen's allegiance, Cutter's emotional barriers, and Claudia's growing concerns about the Anomaly Project's direction. Cutter's attempts to deflect the discussion are met with Claudia's persistence, revealing her internal turmoil and unsettling nightmares. Meanwhile, at the former Anomaly site in the Forest of Dean, a security breach prompts an investigation, leading to the discovery of a violent intrusion from the Anomaly perimeter. Suspicion lingers as the team, including Cutter and Steven, investigates the scene, with Cutter's smile hinting at hidden motives. At Wellington Zoo, a mysterious bat-like creature disrupts the tranquility of the lion enclosure, setting off a chain of events that raise alarm bells. Abby and Connor, preparing for a night out, are interrupted by a call from the zoo, pulling them into the unfolding chaos. In the home office, tensions rise as Claudia, Lester, and Cutter grapple with Helen's enigmatic message and the unsettling disappearances plaguing their team. Suspicion and uncertainty cloud their discussions, setting the stage for a confrontation with Helen. Elsewhere, Helen's rendezvous with the team unveils the grim reality of a future incursion creature, leaving them stunned and apprehensive about the looming threat. As they grapple with the implications, Abby finds herself in a precarious situation, unaware of the danger lurking nearby. At the park, Helen discusses the future predator with Cutter, Steven, Lester, and Claudia, emphasizing its intelligence and lethality. Claudia expresses doubt, but Helen recounts her encounter with the creature in the Permian period, convincing the team it's from the future. Later, at Cutter's house, Helen admits to Nick that she fled from the predator, unintentionally bringing it to the present. Despite Nick's dismay, Helen reaffirms her commitment to helping. At the university, Steven and Connor discuss the predator, linking it to the bat DNA found at the zoo. Concerned about Abby, Steven rushes to the zoo, where he and Abby narrowly avoid an encounter with the predator. In a private conversation, Helen and Claudia discuss the predator. Claudia thanks Helen but questions her timing in assisting. Helen bluntly mentions Nick's attraction to Claudia, causing tension. Claudia refocuses on the predator's threat, prompting Helen to describe its capabilities and speculate on its role in humanity's future demise. In the fields, Cutter leads a hunt for the predator with Ryan, Steven, Connor, and soldiers. They encounter the predator's speed and elusiveness, realizing they need new tactics. Back at the university, Nick and Connor deduce the predator's reliance on high-frequency sound waves for navigation. As Connor retrieves an oscilloscope from the car, he's ambushed by the predator. Abby's intervention saves him, but Steven's arrival drives off the predator. Reflecting on the encounter, Nick suggests Connor go home, but Connor insists on staying. At the crate storage huts, the team locates the predator's lair, finding its offspring and human remains. As they confront the adult predator, Nick devises a plan using glass shards to disrupt its sonar. In the ensuing confrontation, Nick fatally shoots the predator. Outside, Ryan's men secure the predator young, signaling a temporary victory. At the home office, Helen debates with Lester about the fate of the captured predator young. Helen argues against killing them, proposing they use the young's chiropteran instincts to locate the future anomaly. However, Nick insists on exterminating them all to prevent a catastrophic alteration of history. Claudia and Lester reluctantly agree to Nick's plan, despite their reservations. Later, Claudia experiences a strange occurrence in the restroom, seeing an anomaly-like shape in the mirror. After dismissing it as a hallucination, she leaves. At Cutter's house that night, Nick coldly rebuffs Helen's attempts to reconcile, opting to sleep in the spare room. The next day, the team, along with Ryan and his men, prepare to journey through the anomaly to the Permian. Claudia expresses concern, but Nick reassures her. As they prepare to depart, Helen notices Nick and Claudia's growing closeness. As they venture into the Permian, tensions rise between Nick and Helen. Back in the present, Connor receives alarming news about their findings from the Permian. He learns that the adult predator they killed was male, raising questions about their understanding of the creature's behavior. Meanwhile, at the anomaly site, an adult predator watches the team from the vegetation, signaling a new threat. In the Permian, the team faces a deadly encounter with the mother predator, resulting in casualties and revelations about their mission's consequences. After a fierce battle between the predators and other prehistoric creatures, Nick confronts Helen about her true intentions. Helen's desire to see the future drives a wedge between them, leading Nick to realize where he truly belongs. As they return, Nick discovers a shocking alteration in history, Claudia's disappearance. Confused and distraught, Nick realizes their actions in the Permian have changed the past irreversibly. A group of people are bowling, and one of them rolls. Then they see a strange light behind the remaining pins. Meanwhile, a bowling ball rolls through the Cretaceous desert and is stopped by a foot with a sickle claw. Meanwhile, at the anomaly where Cutter went to stop the future predators, and upon realizing Claudia Brown's disappearance, Cutter desperately tries to go back through the anomaly. But Steven and Connor hold him back, and the anomaly closes before he can reach it. Cutter begins to discover much more has changed for the team, as well as Claudia's disappearance. A new second-in-command has taken her place in the team, the oily Oliver Leak. Not only that, but the team now has a headquarters, a high-tech, highly sophisticated operations base called the Anomaly Research Center, or ARC. No one believes Cutter when he tries to explain that the present has altered, resulting in Claudia's disappearance. They think he has gone mad except for Connor, who somewhat accepts the theory. There is, however, no time for idle chat as the team gets a call reporting a creature incursion at a shopping mall. A young security guard at the bowling alley informs his colleague that something strange is happening. Bits of bowling pins are being flung out. Assuming it to be kids messing around, the guard heads behind the bowling alley with a torch and searches for the problem. He is subsequently pounced on and killed by a raptor. His partner is soon afterward pursued by another raptor and killed. Once on site, the team arms themselves with tranquilizer guns. Steven tries to discuss his youthful affair with Helen, but Cutter is unwilling to confront the issue. While the others investigate the anomaly behind the bowling alley, Connor heads for the confectionery, only to find a hungry raptor lurking among the sweets and soft drinks. Despite Connor narrowly escaping with his life, Cutter remains adamant that they should capture the raptors and put them back where they belong, alive. He thinks that killing the creatures altered time and that they had to keep things as they were to prevent it from happening again. The team faces another scare when they hear what they think is the creature coming back for them, only to find it is a cleaner who has been left behind when the mall was evacuated. Cutter tasks Abby and Connor with evacuating the man before informing Lester of the situation. Meanwhile, Lester has his problems. Leak informs him a new public relations liaison is being assigned to them to downplay the damage left by the creatures. While on the hunt, Cutter and Steven face a terrifying encounter with one of the raptors. Despite Steven's valiant efforts to fend off the dinosaur, Cutter's gun jams when he tries to shoot, allowing the creature to escape. Accusations fly as Steven accuses Cutter of purposely letting the raptor attack him out of revenge. Cutter vehemently denies this, asserting that if he wanted Steven dead, he would have done it himself. When the raptor strikes again, they manage to tranquilize it, but not without tension between them. In the aftermath, Cutter forgives Steven for his accusation, recognizing his loyalty during the dangerous encounter. They reflect on Helen's possible return, realizing they may not have seen the last of her. Meanwhile, in the mall's locker rooms, Abby and Connor face a deadly encounter with an infant dromaeosaurus, resulting in a frantic struggle to capture it. Despite initial setbacks, Connor eventually succeeds in subduing the dinosaur. Cutter and Steven devise a risky plan to lure and tranquilize the final raptor using the captured infant as bait. Their strategy works, but not without sacrifices, as the adult dinosaur consumes its offspring before succumbing to the tranquilizer. During the chaos, Cutter notices strange interference on radio frequencies, suspecting a connection to the anomalies. He realizes they can construct a detector to locate new anomalies using the same wavelength. After successfully tracking down and capturing all the raptors, Cutter bravely returns them through the anomaly, but Steven follows him, urging him to reconsider the potential consequences of altering the timeline. As they return, narrowly escaping the awakened raptors, Cutter is shocked to find the team's new PR manager, Jenny Lewis, who bears an uncanny resemblance to Claudia Brown. Connor finds himself unexpectedly swept off his feet by Caroline, a confident and attractive young woman he meets at a video store. Despite Abby's and even Rex's disapproval of her, Connor is thrilled by Caroline's interest in him. However, their budding connection is interrupted when Connor and Abby are called to deal with an anomaly. Meanwhile, Helen Cutter's journey in the Cretaceous period takes a dangerous turn when she encounters a pteranodon and is injured. Seeking refuge, she travels through an anomaly to Steven's house for assistance. However, Steven is forced to leave with the rest of the team, leaving Helen with a warning to be gone by his return. Back at the Ark, a mysterious anomaly is discovered within a skyscraper plagued by electronic malfunctions. As a janitor investigates the source of smoke in the server room, he encounters a thick mist and a strange creature lurking within. The mist spreads, engulfing the building and causing panic among the staff. Meanwhile, Cutter grapples with the presence of Jenny Lewis, the team's new PR liaison who bears a striking resemblance to Claudia Brown. Despite Cutter's skepticism, Jenny remains unfazed by the team's unusual circumstances. As the mist unleashes terrifying creatures within the skyscraper, a group of executives stubbornly refuses to evacuate, unaware of the imminent danger creeping toward them. With the fate of their company hanging in the balance, they press on with a crucial video conference, oblivious to the encroaching mist that threatens to consume them. As the team arrives at the skyscraper, they are met with thick fog and chaos. A firefighter has already fallen victim to the mist, and the building is infested with giant carnivorous worms. Narrowly escaping the creature's deadly attacks, the team, led by Cutter, explores the offices filled with abandoned furniture. Jenny, in her new role as operations manager, faces her first test of courage as she confronts the terrifying reality of the situation. Despite initial terror, she shows resilience and determination, earning Cutter's begrudging admiration. Meanwhile, Cutter assigns Abby and Connor the task of acquiring equipment to clear the fog. However, Connor's encounter with a familiar security guard at the Ark raises suspicions, particularly when Abby remains unconvinced of his theory. In the meeting room, the executives finally detect the noxious gas, but their attempts to escape are thwarted as they fall prey to the voracious worms. As the team rushes to rescue them, Steven becomes trapped in a lift shaft, further complicating the situation. Realizing that the worms cannot survive outside the fog, Abby and Connor work to raise the building's temperature. However, the unexpected consequence of the heat causes the worms to explode, releasing their parasitic offspring. Cutter warns everyone to avoid contact with the creatures, and they activate the building's fire control system to neutralize the threat. In the aftermath, as Caroline returns to retrieve her forgotten phone, Connor seizes the opportunity to ask her out for a drink, much to Abby's chagrin. Meanwhile, Cutter finds himself at Jenny's house, intending to explain their extraordinary circumstances, only to be confronted by her fiancé. Unbeknownst to him, Helen watches from a distance, plotting her next move with a sinister smile.